Hey guys, it's Debbie. How are all of my profilers today? It seems like it has been forever since I talked to y'all. I took a little break after Sarah Boone. That was quite a draining experience. But I wanted to tell you guys about the next trial that I'm going to watch, and I want to watch it with you guys. And that trial is the trial of Jose Ibarra for the unaliving of Laken Riley. Now, this trial got international attention. And sometimes it even seems like the tragedy of a young woman losing her life has been overshadowed by the political issues that it has sparked. But that is not why I'm doing this trial. In fact, when I heard about this case, it didn't even dawn on me that it was a case that I would even try to cover. But then I found out that she was a nursing student. I was a nurse for 17 years, so I guess I kind of feel like I lost one of my own. I was mad about it before, but now I'm outraged. A young woman that was in training to dedicate her life to helping others had her life taken away. And not just taken away from her loved ones, but from all of our future patients that were going to benefit from her help. I think back to all the people that I've helped over the years, and I just have to wonder how many people Laken Riley would have helped, and how many people she would have touched, and how many people are not going to benefit with having the special experience of having her as their nurse. A very dear friend of mine once told me that nurses are born, not made. And so many people have said to me, I just don't know how you do what you do. And I have taken care of both ends of the spectrum. I have been a geriatric nurse, taking care of people at the end of their lives, and I have been a pediatric nurse taking care of people at the beginning of their lives. And you have to be a different kind of a person to be a nurse, and I know I'm different. And you guys know that I'm different. Here's a picture of me as a baby nurse. I could not find one of me actually in my nursing student uniform at the hospital because I'm old and we did not have smartphones back then. I did not carry a camera around with me. And this is pictures of me, coincidentally, in Venezuela, nursing on a missions trip with my church. And Jose Ibarra, the man who allegedly did this, is also from Venezuela. So let's go ahead and get started. The reason this case got international attention is because the defendant is an illegal or undocumented alien, whichever you prefer to refer to him as. And his name is Jose Antonio Ibarra, and he is from Venezuela. He crossed the Mexican-American border at El Paso, Texas with his girlfriend and her 5-year-old son. He was arrested and then released to await his asylum hearing. And I'm not sure how asylum works, so if anybody knows, please let me know down in the comments. And, okay guys, this is where this is going to get dicey. I'm sure that we all have our own thoughts about immigration. Especially with this being an election year, this is a really hot topic right now. I was asked recently in a live stream Can we say anything here? And I've thought long and hard about this, and I've decided the answer is no. I am pretty much going to follow the lead of other LawTube and LawTube adjacent channels. So, these are going to be my chat rules. Remember, we are a PG-13 channel. No attacking other chatters, cursing, political, religious talk, doxing, hate speech, no racist, sexist, bigoted, homophobic, or violent remarks. Be kind. So, please don't focus on this man's immigration status. Let's just remember that a person has lost their life and a family has lost a loved one. This includes in the comments below and in chat when we get to the actual trial. So don't forget that. Laken Hope Riley was born on January 10th, 2002 in Marietta, Georgia. She attended River Ridge High School in Woodstock, Georgia, where she was on the cross-country team. She graduated from there in 2020 and went on to become a student at the University of Georgia at Athens as an undergrad. She transferred to Augusta University to go to their School of Nursing. She was a member of Alpha Chi Omega sorority and was a popular student with many friends and social activities. On the morning of February 22nd, 2024, Laken went out for a run. She told her roommate that she was going running over by the intramural fields. When she hadn't returned by 12:07 in the afternoon, her roommate reported her missing to UGA police. Laken was found at 12:38 p.m. in Oconee Forest Park behind Lake Herrick. Now, I am not familiar with Georgia at all, but according to Court TV, there's a little Lake Herrick, which is more of a pond, and that's where her body was found. Big Lake Herrick is kind of busy. There's a big parking lot. There's some tennis courts with people playing tennis and pickleball, and when the Court TV producer went out there to film the area, he said that there were people there, and there's like a security camera there that gets the parking lot, and there's picnic tables, and it's not a secluded area. But then the trails, the hiking trails, the running trails, they are secluded. And there is a pond that is known as Little Lake Herrick, and that is where her body was found. So she wasn't found at Big Lake Herrick, where people are. Her cause of death was blunt force trauma and asphyxiation. She was bludgeoned with a rock so badly that her skull was disfigured. She was kidnapped and held against her will. She also attempted to make a 911 call during her abduction. She was alive and aware of what was happening to her. The police believe that this was a crime of opportunity and that the suspect acted alone. So he was just hanging out back there in the high brush. Saw a pretty girl run by and decided he wanted her. That is so terrifying. What gives you the right? She doesn't belong to you, dude. What gives you the right? There were vigils and memorial services on campus. Classes were canceled the next day. So many people were mourning the loss of such a wonderful young woman. Her funeral was held at Woodstock City Church on March 1st, 2024, and she was buried at Enon Cemetery. There was also a vigil held at Lake Herrick. This is what the president of her sorority had to say about her.
Campus is really heavy right now. We're all heartbroken. I want to use this time to tell you about Laken and all she was to Alpha Chi. It is so obvious to me why it feels so dark right now, and that is because we lost one of the brightest lights that there's ever been. This campus and our sisterhood will never be the same without Laken Riley. I take pride in the caliber of women that we have in Alpha Chi. Our sisterhood is so incredibly strong, and I know that together we will get through this. When you were initiated in Alpha Chi Omega, which Laken was in the fall of 2020, you agreed to uphold our values of wisdom, devotion, and achievement. These three words are something that came so naturally to Laken. She showed incredible wisdom throughout her friendships. Many sisters have shared that she was the best listener. She would allow you to ramble on about how your day was or how your life had been lately, and she soaked it up intently. Her wisdom flowed throughout all aspects of her life as she had an eye for those who were secretly struggling. Another sister shared a story on how, on their first date night as Alpha Chi's, this particular sister was struggling to make friends and to find her place. In front of everyone, Laken embraced her and asked if she wanted a photo. That happened nearly 4 years ago, and it still had such an impact on her. She exuded devotion with each and everything that she did. A devoted Christian, sister, student, daughter, and friend. Whether it was nursing school, being the Alpha Chi banner chair, or the incredible runner that she was, Laken showed devotion throughout every avenue of her life. Doing something halfway was just never an option. Finally, Laken showed achievement as a sister shared that she had more drive than anyone that they knew. She was devoted to making this world a better place, and we have no doubt that she would have been an incredible nurse. It is absolutely earth-shattering to think that the world will never have that opportunity, but the impact that she made within her 22 years was enough to last a lifetime and beyond. We have no clue why things like this happen. I'm the first to question why. I've chosen to change my view of this and to know that we were given these people at this time for a reason. Tell your friends that you love them and never miss an opportunity for a sweet treat, one of Laken's favorite pastimes, and scream the lyrics to your favorite song as loud as you can. Be kind. Catch up with your friends. And strive to be the type of person that Laken was, where sister shared, even if you hadn't seen her in a while, it was like no time had passed at all. Although the flowers in our house will fade, the visitors will slow, and we will begin classes again, our hearts will always ache without Laken, who was such an integral part of our sisterhood. I want to share a quote that Alpha Chi shares during our recruitment process, and something that we're holding on to tight during this time. Our bond is strong here. It stretches far, it stretches wide, and it lasts a lifetime. Our sisterhood is shared from far and wide, heaven and earth side. And Laken, we will love and remember you forever. LITB, thank you.
The suspect is 26-year-old Jose Antonio Ibarra, an illegal alien that crossed the border in El Paso, Texas on September 8th of 2022. He was arrested and then let go to wait for his asylum hearing. However, he got on a bus with his girlfriend and her son and went to New York. In New York, he was arrested last September for acting in a manner to injure a child less than 17 and a motor vehicle violation when he drove a moped with his girlfriend's 5-year-old son. Neither of them were wearing a helmet. He was released from police custody before immigration authorities could put a detainer on him. He then left New York and went to Athens, Georgia, where he was arrested for shoplifting at Walmart with his brother Diego on October 23, 2023. They were released on bond. Now, I'm not clear if his brother came over with them or if he was in New York and then they went there to be with him in New York, and then they all came back down to Georgia, or if his brother was already in Georgia, and then they went to Georgia to be with his brother. I'm not clear about that, but at any rate, he was with his brother in Georgia, and they went shoplifting at Walmart. Why is it always Walmart? So they were released on bond. And they were both found to be in a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua. Now, I'm terrible at Spanish, so I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. They were both former temporary employees of UGA. I believe that they were dishwashers. and they found that Diego had a fake green card. Now, I wasn't sure, like, I know what a green card is, but I didn't know specifics, so I looked it up, and a green card allows you to live and work in the United States without being a citizen, and it has to be renewed every 10 years. So if you have a green card, you have some basic rights as a U.S. citizen, but not all of them. Like, you can't vote, you can't run for office, but you have some of the same rights as a U.S. citizen. So you can get a job. But his green card was fake. Jose Ibarra lived in an apartment that was less than 100 yards away from where Laken's body was found. His apartment backed up to the parking area for the intramural fields and Lake Herrick and was next to student housing. There were security cameras at the student housing and the parking lot for the intramural fields, but none where Laken was running. There were jogging and hiking trails with thick brush on both sides, and it was very secluded. On May 8, 2024, the grand jury came back with an indictment on 10 charges. Now, the first 3 of those charges is felony murder. And I was confused. Some of you may be confused as well. So I am going to try to explain it to the best of my ability. So if you commit a felony and someone dies during the commission of that felony, then that becomes a felony murder. So he committed 3 felonies. So even though he only killed 1 person, that becomes 3 charges of felony murder. So, the first 3 charges are felony murder. The 4th, malice murder for the murder itself. 5 is false imprisonment. 6, kidnapping. 7, aggravated assault with attempt to rape. 8, hindering a 911 call. 9, concealing the death of another. And 10 is a peeping Tom charge, which we'll talk about later. Jose Ibarra pleaded not guilty to all charges. The state is seeking life without parole. Jose Ibarra has asked for a change of venue and also for the peeping Tom charge to be severed. Those motions were denied. His counsel believes that the peeping Tom charge will confuse the jury. He was caught peeping into the window of a student in student housing earlier in the day. Not Laken, a completely different student. It happened on the same day, so it is attached to the case even though it didn't happen during Laken's murder. And I don't find that confusing at all. I think they can explain it to the jury just like that and they will completely understand. I don't find that to be confusing whatsoever. There is also evidence on 2 cell phones that he wants to be left out, and I'm not clear on whose cell phones those are. And there's also some video surveillance that was given to the police by a neighbor of him from the apartment complex that he lives at, of him putting some bloody clothes in a dumpster. So, jury selection begins on November 13th, which, as the time of me recording that, is today. And the trial begins on November 18th, which will be Monday. So, please come join me as I stream that trial. I have heard some people say Friday, but as far as I know, Monday, unless they changed it. So make sure that you have subscribed and liked and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss the beginning of the trial. I will be keeping an eye on it so we don't miss anything. Laken's family is starting the Laken Hope Riley Foundation, and it will provide education about safety regarding homicide and crimes against women, as well as providing scholarships. The House of Representatives has also passed a bill called the Laken Riley Act, and it passed on March 7th, 2024, and if it is enacted, it will mandate that federal detention of immigrants who commit burglary or theft, and would allow states to file suit against the federal government for failing to enforce immigration laws. That's great, but it's not just immigration that falls through the cracks. It's not. I've done plenty of episodes on people that commit crimes, get picked up, and then let go. And then go on to do horrendous, horrible things. Like Ed Kemper, Robert Hansen. I mean, you can watch my videos. This is like the thing that I hate the most about some of the cases that I cover. They catch these guys and they get a slap on the wrist, or they get nothing. They get dismissed. And then they get out and then they do something 100 times worse. There are so many times when I have said, these people would still be alive if they had just kept them in jail after they did such and such. It's not right. It's not right. It's just not right. So this is not just an immigration problem. This is a criminal problem. This is about a young woman that lost her life, and it is about punishing the monster that did this. But remember, Jose Ibarra is innocent until found guilty. So let's pretend that we're the jury and watch the trial and decide for ourselves. So that's it for this one. And remember, be kind to people, love your family, and Jesus loves you. And I will be seeing y'all real soon. Bye.